What's up, everybody? It's your boy Atticus bringing you a rapid reaction to the game between the Giants and the Eagles today. Giants took the L 38-20 against the Philadelphia Eagles. They played in Philadelphia today. Got a lot to talk about with this game, a lot. But before we get started, we're on our way to 500 subscribers, and we'd be very grateful if you guys who are new to the channel, just seeing us, finding out, somebody shared the link with you, please like and subscribe so every time we drop some new content, you're notified. Try to keep you updated as soon as there's news to report of things taking place with the Giants, with the players, with the coaches, whatever. But it really helps us out a lot, and we really do appreciate it. So I want to say that today I was out with the family. We went to a pumpkin patch, had the kids, the grandkids, and they had a great time. I was kind of I was not able to enjoy myself the way I wanted to with the kids, only because I knew that the Giants game was on and I wasn't going to be able to really watch it and pay attention. But I do have the NFL Sunday ticket, so I was able to stream some of it in between pumpkin picking rides and things of that nature. But I gotta say, I was so frustrated. Number one, because I wasn't able to watch the game, just sit down and relax and watch it. And number two, from what I was hearing in my earpiece while I was at the pumpkin patch. But I want to talk about this game. I mean, there was a lot of hype going into it. I mean, I think that a lot of Giants fans knew that this would be a really tall hill to climb for the Giants. They were going in still deficient at the wide receiver position, lost our starting safety and starting corner in the last game. We just signed Corey Black to the field. We brought up Green from the practice squad. Like, we were really hurting in our secondary. And even though I think Dane Belton is a solid safety, he wasn't the one that's been running the defense all year. So I felt like we were going in at a huge disadvantage, even with A.J. Brown not being on the field for the Philadelphia Eagles. They still had a very capable Devontae Smith. They still had Jahad Johnson. So I thought that, and they still had Dallas Goedert. So I thought that the Eagles were still better equipped to have a successful day in the passing game than the Giants were equipped at stopping them. And that's what happened. Jalen Hurts, he had another really good day. When you look at the statistics, Jalen Hurts threw 15 of 20, 75%, 4 touchdown passes. He was sacked 4 times, so the Giants were able to get some pressure, but he also was able to make some moves with his legs. 4 of 22. It was a big 4th and 3 play that Jalen Hurts was able to scramble and pick up the first down. And by and large, the Philadelphia Eagles did whatever they wanted to the Giants on the running game anyway. They had 2 running backs with over 100 yards. Saquon Barkley started the game up. His first catch of the game. Saquon Barkley runs the ball for 60 some odd yards. And I just want to take a look at this play and show you guys what I saw as this play developed. It was egregious what the Giants defense ended up doing. I will say that it was partly the same thing that the Giants did last week when Tyrone Tracy Jr. ran for 30 some odd yards against the Denver Broncos. This is a play that should have never had a hole that big, and Saquon Barkley found it. If you take a look at this, you look at the left tackle and the left guard, 69 and 64. They are building a wall. And right behind that wall, you've got, I'm not even sure who that is, but the second player who's behind that wall is Bobby Okereke. Bobby Okereke is supposed to take you out. Instead, he goes inside. Instead of going outside, he goes inside, and he's trapped in there. And once he gets trapped in there, he cannot get out. And then the only person that you've got left in the secondary is Tyler Nubin to stop him. And Tyler Nubin's just not fast enough to stop Saquon Barkley. If we take a look at this one more time, I want you to take a look at this backside right here. You see, you got Muasau, you got Dane Belton over here. And Okay, maybe I misspoke. It was Muasau, not Bobby Okereke. He was supposed to take the outside. He got caught up on the inside. If you look at this one more time, he goes inside. He should have went outside. He would have went outside rather. He would have forced Saquon Barkley to go closer to the sideline, and this would have likely not resulted in a touchdown. But because he got caught up in there, he wasn't able to affect any type of pressure on Saquon Barkley. We all know how he's able to run that ball once he gets out in the open space. So just to start the game, Saquon Barkley broke off a 60-something run that resulted in the touchdown, which is completely unacceptable. And the Giants have struggled all year with stopping a run, and today's game was no different. They were giving up huge chunks of yards, not just to Saquon Barkley, but to Bigsby also. Bigsby, who didn't even touch the ball before this game, came in as a result of I think it was a groin injury to Saquon Barkley. He had 9 carries for 104 yards, 11.6 yards per carry. That is completely unacceptable. This all goes back to Shane Bowen. We talked about how we are not happy with his style of defense. He is not playing well. The Giants talked about when they brought him in that he was one of those guys who ran the one of the top 5 run defenses in the league, and we have not seen that since he's been on the New York Giants coaching staff. Now, it's not his fault that these guys weren't tackling well, that they were probably out of position when they needed to be positioned. He came in with a weakened defense to begin with, but the effort was so poor in this game that it was just difficult to look at. As a Giants fan, it was difficult to look at. And I do apologize for not starting off with the fact that Cam Scatterboo took an egregious injury today. It was horrible, where he dislocated his right ankle going out for a pass. I'm not even going to show that highlight, but he was going out for a pass, and when he landed in a way where as soon as his foot hit the ground, he dislocated his ankle. He was tapping out immediately. They took him off the field on a cart. So I don't know the extent of the injury, if it's going to require surgery, I doubt that he's going to be back this year. His foot was pointed in the complete wrong direction, a direction that it should not have been able to point to. And it was hard to look at. And as much as we hate the Philadelphia Eagles and this idea that they're the city of brotherly love when they're not, that doesn't even fit them. They really gave him a round of applause and, sent their well wishes to him. Nobody likes to see a player get injured in that way. So, yeah, that was really difficult. But the game itself was, it was poorly officiated. There were mistakes that the Giants made that they should not have made, and it resulted in the Eagles not just having a win, but a dominating win, which was really disappointing because I thought that they played well. But before Cam Scatterboo was injured, he did have a touchdown catch and run from Jackson Dart. The Eagles were up 7-0. This is the bottom of the first, and the defender slipped and fell who was on Scatterboo. Scatterboo was able to catch the ball, go in for a touchdown. It was really exciting to see that the Giants responded after the Eagles marched down the field and scored. The Giants came back down and scored as well. Next possession, the Eagles are marching down the field. The Giants get them into a 4th and inches. This had my blood fuming, boiling, as did it Brian Dable for him a few times throughout this game. Now, I will say that the officiating was bad on both sides of the ball, but it seems like the calls that were more egregious in nature happened against the Giants, and it was highly disturbing. I will say that the way the game was going, you kind of felt like the Eagles were going to win this game, even if the referees didn't help them along with a couple of really bad calls. But they called them anyway. I mean, first of all, This one call, 4th and inches, the Giants shut him down. Eagles are lining up for the tush push again. Some call it the butt thrust. The Giants were very disciplined. Everybody's in their gaps. They had a good plan going in. They even have the corners looking at the outsides to see if somebody bounces out, because we saw Saquon Barkley do that fake last week. So the Giants were ready for that too. They've also got 2 safeties just in case one of the corners miss them. When we roll the tape, he's trying to get him to jump off sides. They don't jump. And now he's going to snap the ball. When he snaps the ball, he goes left. And look at the heady play by Kayvon Thibodeau. As soon as Jalen Hurts tries to reach that ball forward, he snatches it out of his hands, right? When he snatches it out of his hands, that's a turnover. You don't hear the whistle happen until after he snatches the ball out of his hands. Progress hasn't stopped at that point. Now, if that was a goal line run, that would have been a touchdown. Play's over. That wasn't a goal line run. At this point, once he reaches the ball over and you're not at the goal line, you're in the middle of the field just trying to pick up a first down, and you're still moving forward. There's no forward progress that's been stopped. And Kayvon Thibodeau wisely grabs the ball from a still moving player. That's a fumble. That's a fumble. I am dying to see what the league has to say about that tomorrow and in the days to come, because that was one of the most egregious calls I've seen, especially when there's already so much controversy on a tush push, when you have on numerous occasions the Philadelphia Eagles have players that are false starting that are often uncalled, which would have resulted in them being moved 5 yards back. This particular play, Kayvon Thibodeau makes a hell of a play by snatching the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hand. You can't say he was down because he was on top of bodies, and he was continued to move forward, so his forward progress hadn't been stopped. That was an excellent play on his part. And the whistle wasn't blown until after Kayvon Thibodeau secured the ball after taking it away from Jalen Hurts. That, my friends, was a fumble. Very disappointing part of the game that should have been called. Giants ball at that point. And then subsequently, after that, what happens? Saquon Barkley gets his second touchdown of the game. Really, really disappointing. Jackson Dart was under pressure all day. I think he was sacked 5 times by Philadelphia's defense. Yeah, it looks like he was sacked 5 times. He was pressured almost every time he dropped back to pass. He continued to perform well under pressure, even after losing Cam Scatterbo, his best friend, who became the Giants' starting running back. I really don't think the Giants lost too much when Cam went out. Prayers to him. Hope he has a speedy recovery. Tyrone Tracy Jr. is still a very capable running back. Devin Singletary is still a very capable running back. So I think the Giants will be okay in terms of their running back production. And plus, they're both pretty good, very good, in fact, I'd say, at catching the ball out of the backfield. So I don't think there's a huge drop-off in talent in that regard. However, Cam Scatterbo brought so much more than just his athleticism to the field. Like, he was a dog. Like, I don't hate to talk about him in past tense, but he's a dog. And when he's on the field, there's this elevation of energy that can be felt across the board from the players, and that's definitely going to be missed. So hopefully he isn't out too long. We still don't know what the medical diagnosis and timetable of him being, cleared to play, whether he's going to need surgery. We just don't know. So we'll see how that goes. Wan'Dale Robinson was really slowed down today. He was only targeted 4 times. He had 3 receptions for 48 yards. Singletary had a really nice catch down the sideline to extend the drive. I think it was a 3rd and 10, and he caught a really nice ball. Darius Slayton He was back. I don't know why the Giants just don't seem to use him as much as I think they should, but he was back and he did make some nice contributions, moved the chain a couple of times. Bellinger, Theo Johnson, they continue to play well. But then there was this other play. Giants are down and they're trying to make a comeback. And, given the fact that they were down, a lot of people in their secondary, a lot of players in their secondary, and they were fighting the team in their house. And it's just a tough outing all around for them. I thought that they were still trying to fight, right? And you just saw Jackson Dart escaping, making plays with his leg. At this point, it's 38-13. This is actually after another play that I want to show you, but this game is pretty much over. And you can see Dart is still looking to find ways to keep his team in the game. And on this drive, it actually finished off with Jackson Dart running for a 4-yard touchdown, which was good to see. But prior to that, the Giants still had some opportunities. I mean, it would have taken a Herculean effort to get back into the game to win it, something that we didn't think would actually happen, but there was a chance, right? So, this is I believe this was a 3rd and 10, the 4th and 11 play. 9 minutes, 50 some odd seconds to go. If the Giants can score on this drive, it's 20-31. It's a 2-score game. And if your defense shows up, you can stop them. And Dart on 4th and 11 launches the ball. That was not a Hail Mary. That was a nicely drawn up play. Good route run by Darius Slayton. But there was a flag. There was a flag. And if you even listen to the commentators talk about it, it wasn't a flag that should have been called. Now, you could say there was defensive pass interference on this call. Just as much as you could say there was OPI, and I don't see OPI. I see him holding Slayton's arm. That's what he was doing, holding his arm. He catches the ball in spite of that, and then is able to get down for a touchdown. And you can see he's grabbing. Quinyon Mitchell is grabbing Darius Slayton's jersey right there. Like, this is a no call.
You're getting held a little bit. Well, then you want to push a little bit, and there's definitely a little hand fighting. I don't know if enough to be called.
How many
Not enough to be called.
Dean?
I think Tom hit it on the nail on the head. There's a lot of hand fighting going on. Usually you let that go.
Dean Blandino, Fox Sports officiating expert who sits in the booth with these guys, he even says it himself, you just let that one go. There was not enough to make that call. Now, I will say there were situations where Eagles fans can feel like the referees were missing calls. They said that Brian Burns hit Jalen Hurts, who scrambled out of the pocket and ran on that 4th and inches play, that he hit him late out of bounds when, first of all, it wasn't roughing a passer. Somebody said it might have been that, but you're not roughing a passer if he's running the ball. Secondly, they did an instant replay to check to see if it were or should have been some type of personal foul, late hit, and they didn't find that either. So you can say that there were calls that were missed by the Giants, missed by the refs on the Giants, but the ones that were missed or called against the Giants or missed against the Giants had much more of a damaging effect than those that people say should have been called the other way. So, rapid recap. Special teams look like ass today. They let the Philadelphia Eagles return kickoffs and punts. I don't even know what the average was, but it was, I'm sure, over 30 yards a return, which was disturbingly bad. The tackling was terrible. We already expected for them to be some passing yardage that Jalen Hurts was going to get because the Giants are missing so many people in their secondary, but to torch them the way that they did, 4 touchdowns, mistiming jumps, Why are you trying to catch a ball? You should be trying to knock the ball down. Just an all-around disappointing day, and to lose Cam Scatterboo perhaps for the year to boot is difficult. So, you got Micah McFadden, you've got obviously Malik Neighbors, and now possibly Cam Scatterboo. Is just, a tough day. I still think that the Giants have shown a lot of heart. I'm glad they did not trade for another receiver at this point. I think that the Giants should continue to develop their players. I don't think that they should look towards any type of, even be talking about any type of postseason push or run or anything like that. And I also think that it has been made crystal clear that the Giants are going to move in a new direction as far as coaching goes. Do I think they should move on? And I seem to talk about this every week, move on from Brian Daboll. I kind of do. Without question, they need to move on from Shane Bowen. My only concern or question about that is, do they do it midseason or not? I think you should. If there's unless there's somebody who you are targeting or a pair you are targeting, I would move on from him now anyway, because my thoughts are Maverick's going to move on from Brian Daboll. I think he's going to keep Joe Shane. I think Joe Shane has done an overall much better job as a general manager than Brian Daboll has done as a head coach. And don't get me wrong, I like Brian Daboll. I think Brian Daboll would be a great offensive coordinator wherever he goes. But I think there are too many personnel errors, time management errors that he has made since he's been the head coach of the New York Giants to extend him or keep him in that position. I think it's time for the Giants to move on. And even if they move on from Shane Bowen before the season concludes, elevating one of the other coaches into that position for now would be welcomed. It can't get worse than this, can it? I mean, 38 points, that was bad. And a lot of them, they gave up 11.1 yards per carry to a guy who hasn't even touched the ball this year. 11.1. Saquon had close to 10 yards per carry today. They gave up 250 plus. Let me get the exact number. They gave up 76 rushing yards today. 6. Jalen Hurts threw 179 yards, and they scored 38 points. 179 is kind of pedestrian, but when you have a 75 completion percentage and 4 touchdowns, that shouldn't happen. Just an overall disappointing day. I thought the Giants just didn't show up. Certainly not in the ways that we're used to. At least this year, we've seen a much more spirited effort from them in the last few games. And today it felt like we came crashing back down to earth. That we came crashing back down to this place where we're no longer moving in an upward trajectory. We went down. And very disappointing. And I hope that they're able to, and I don't know how they can, but I hope they're able to rebound next week. They got another tough opponent with the San Francisco 49ers, who are playing extremely well, even though they have not had their starting quarterback. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyway, don't forget, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Jake, thank you so much for spending some of your Sunday evening with me. We still rep Big Blue all day. We're still going to support our guys. And they'll bounce back from this. I don't know what it's going to look or feel like. But next week's game is at home. And let's root for our boys to get another win. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.
Yeah, a lot of girls probably crying from my old high school. Look, they see me everywhere they go. I probably would too. Look, crossed over to the Jordan man like I'm Michael. Yeah, eating blessings so much I might need lipo. Yeah, tailored for the dub. buzz like I'm walking in chucks. Yeah, it's just in this plan, man, I see all y'all shook. Look, knew that I was great ever since I was a rook. Man, all y'all singles making me look good. Okay, praise to the Most High, yeah, that's Jesus. Look, but when it come to this rap thing, I can't lose. Yeah, back-to-back number ones, that's a thing greats do. Yeah, tell them boys that ain't nothing I can't do. It's my year, it's my year.